Got the brand new Mercedes-Benz C300 all-wheel drive coupe, and as always I've got my man.
Hey guys, it's Nathan.
And the way that we do these reviews is I kind of do what's under the hood. I do a bit of a walk around in terms of styling, and then my man Nathan does the interior and does a 0 to 60 run. And Nathan, we just did the Mazda, and you barely made it.
Yeah, well that thing was naturally aspirated. It just desperately needs a turbocharger, but this has one.
Yep, so let's show them what's under the hood so you can see the power plant under the hood of this new Mercedes-Benz C-Class Coupe, or do you say coupe? Depending, I guess, where you're at. In Europe, they say coupe, is a 2-liter. Now, you can't see much because, of course, the modern car has all this plastic on top. It cleans it up nicely. It also keeps the sound level down. It also keeps the heat level kind of contained in the engine compartment, but you don't see the engine. It puts out 241 horsepower and 273 pound-foot of torque, and it is mated to a 7-speed automatic. Do you have paddle shifters?
Yes, I do.
And he has paddle shifters. It also is all-wheel drive for up here in Colorado. Now, let's talk about the style, but before we do that, Ian, why don't you walk him around the car?
I'm so gangster in this.
In case you're wondering, this C300 gets 25 MPG combined, and I was lucky enough to go on the launch program of this, where I was one of the first journalists to actually drive it, and I walked away impressed. Not only has Mercedes, I think, upped their games in terms of styling. I mean, look at this. It's really beautiful. Mercedes used to be kind of stodgy, if I'm being so bold, but now they've kind of made the car more youthful. They've added a lot of interesting details, and sometimes when you add detail, the car becomes overwrought. There's just too much going on, too many intersecting lines. But if you take a closer look at these little shapes in the grille. I mean, this could be very easily too much. Same thing with these LED lights up here, and yet somehow Mercedes has managed to make it very delicate and complicated, yet at the very same time very sleek and sexy. My only complaint about Mercedes, and this is a complaint about basically all of the vehicles now, it's hard to tell them apart, right? They have a family resemblance, and that family resemblance is in the S-Class, the E-Class, and now the C-Class, and they're hard to tell apart. Why don't you show them the inside, Ian?
Hey guys, welcome to what is, I think, one of the best interiors in its class. I'm not just talking about this beautiful wood or the way they've made all the vents, which I just love this. Look at the switchgear. Look at the piano black finish. All of this is fantastic. Now, there is one thing which is kind of funny. We were just in the Mazda and they have a similar screen. It doesn't collapse, it doesn't fold away. And you'd think in a Mercedes-Benz that you would have, something that would fold away or whatever because it's a gizmo car. But no, not in this case, and that's okay, because the rest of this thing is fantastic. I love these new speaker covers. I love where the controls are. Once you get used to it, it's fantastic. I wish it had standard cooled seats. It has heated seats over here. This little blank spot here is pretty much for cooled seats. The rest of the vehicle is comfortable. I haven't sat in the back yet, but I think I know somebody who will.
Oh no!
Yeah, dude, I'm in the driver's seat. I can't do it.
You're gonna sit in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, not on my side though. You should probably go on that side. Guys, this is a beautiful interior. They've really knocked it out of the park.
Oh, Nathan.
Come on.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I know. Complaining's for everybody.
All right, at least it's electric, which
Yeah,
means it's going to guillotine my feet.
Well, no, it probably has sensors where it'll stop. Now, here's the good news. You see, a lot of German companies have been building 4-door cars and they're calling them.
Back here.
There's lots of good news. I'm amused, and that's the best part. There you go. See? And there it goes, and there it keeps going. We call it La Guillotine. I love it. Thank you, Mercedes, for making my day.
This is not a place for big guys.
No, that isn't. But the front seats are. I mean, I'm actually sitting in almost the same position that Roman sits when he drives this. And obviously, you can't be chauffeured in the car very comfortably. But everything else about it is really comfortable. I'm just loving what I've done to you.
I'm sitting on the hard middle part, Nathan.
And I'm so sorry. Anyway, But you know, a lot of cars that are coming out of Germany, they're trying to put 4 doors on them and say it's a coupe. This is a coupe or a coupe.
Yeah.
This is the bottom line. 2 doors.
So I've got a question for these guys.
Yeah.
First of all, this car starts at $44,000, but because we've got the big panoramic sunroof and we've got the AMG appearance package, not the AMG.
It's not an AMG, it's an AMG appearance package.
Guess how much
right?
this costs, Nathan?
50?
$58,000.
$58,000?
Yeah. And I've got a question for you guys. It's a trivia question. Maybe you can figure this out. Can you think of a more expensive car with less horsepower? Remember, it's got 241. It's not slow, but I'm saying, you know, price per dollar per horsepower is rather low on this car.
Yeah,
or high, actually.
yeah. You know, that's a really good point. There might be, I think maybe Lexus possibly, but no.
Last year we did have the AMG version of this, so we compared it to the Hellcat. And if you go to TFL Car or TFLC, our car YouTube channel, you can find that review where I compare this to the Hellcat. It was basically German muscle versus American muscle, and really fun car to drive. But your turn, man.
Yeah.
How fast do you think this will go from 0 to 60?
I'm thinking around 8 seconds, maybe less.
Yeah, and keep in mind about a second or two faster if you're at sea level.
This is turbocharged though, so we're fortunate. That means we won't lose quite as much time.
Let me get out of here because I don't want to add another 200 and plus pounds of weight.
I am so sorry. Gosh, it's horrible.
Enjoy. Oh, let's get some engine note for these guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Okay. All right, here he goes. It's gonna launch pretty good. It's got all-wheel drive. Squats down, and there he goes. Those turbos up here really do a good job of adding more air density into the combustion. So basically, the rule is you lose about, let's see, what is it? It's 3% per 1,000 feet of elevation. So at 10,000 feet, you're down about 30% in terms of horsepower. And a turbocharger will help make up for that. Not all the way, but you are stuffing more density into the air, into the cylinders, letting you get a bit of a bigger explosion when the spark plug goes off. Here he comes back. We should be okay here. Ian, I love those LED lights. That's a really distinct signature that Mercedes has put on their cars. Looks like it's got, look at that. Looks like it's got eyebrows. All right.
A lot faster than the Mazda.
I bet. Let's see what's the scoop.
7.76.
7.76.
I think it'll go faster too. I mean, I played with the dynamic control. There's a bunch of settings that I haven't messed with yet, but it really is willing car. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So here's the part I'm dreading when we take it around the track because I get to get back in the back seat.
Yes, you do.
All right. Ian, you jump in the front seat. I'll get in the back.
Maybe we should let Roman get in first.
Yes, please. I'm sorry. Let me get in first. You know what I like about Mercedes is they do this little thing, this little helpful arm that comes out and hands you the seatbelt.
Yeah. And it's really polite.
Yes, it's very nice.
It's a polite German car. Here you go.
All right, jump, boys.
Yeah, and Ian, you might want to pull the seat forward.
Look at that, it stopped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it does have a sensor where it says, okay, enough is enough.
Yeah, it won't guillotine.
So Ian, can you pull your seat up just a little bit so Roman's not completely castrated?
Yeah, it's on the door there. Please.
On the door itself? Right there? Yep, push forward.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, I'm good. Okay. All right, let's take this around, Nathan.
You got it. You know, I've never been much of a fan of this stock.
Let's let Ian go. Okay, you got your seatbelt on, Ian?
Yeah, he's good.
Okay, we're on the track. Good.
But you get used to it pretty quickly. I haven't played with the paddle shifters very much either.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the stock either. It just feels too old school.
Yeah, but it keeps everything out of the way, so you can have all this in the way instead, which is basically for infotainment.
Yeah, you know, Mercedes has gone and done two ways of interacting with the IP, right? There's a little finger control right here, which I'm trying to reach, and the little rotary knob. It's kind of like they gave up. They didn't know what was better.
This is what our people want. We were going to give it to them.
Yeah. So how does it drive?
So far, it's been great. I took it around the track earlier,
Yep.
and I really like the fact that although there's a tiny bit of plow when you really push it, overall, it transitions beautifully. You're able to really get out of the corner and squeeze onto the accelerator, and there's not a lot of body roll, but it's still a compliant ride. I would imagine that if you were to drive a 3 Series or 4 Series, not the M, but the regular ones, they would be fairly close in performance, although those cars have a rear drive bias. This one feels like it has a front drive bias.
You know, my son Tommy goes to college, right, at CU, and he says there are a ton of 3 Series coupes or coupes, but there are very few Mercedes coupes. I wonder why that is.
You know, part of it has to do with the fact that this is a much more sober car for an older, more discerning gentleman or a gentle lady to purchase. I would imagine college students driving a Mercedes-Benz to school, even though they're probably close to the same price.
It is CU.
It is CU, but I mean, I've got family at USC and UCLA, and I don't know any of them who drive a Mercedes to school, so it just seems like it's just a little bit more on the mature side, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and I love the flat bottom steering wheel, right? That to me always is a mark of German performance.
Yeah, and it actually does help getting in and out of the car, especially when you're a big guy. But, you know, when you look at this car, and what I really like about it is that it is a very modern look on the outside, and it's a modern, very classic look on the inside. I think they did a beautiful job on that.
Yeah, I do love the styling of this car. I love the fact that Mercedes is making it, or trying to make it, much more youthful. I mean, you're playing with one of the air vents right now. Those are just like,
I love those.
It's instrument quality. It's like a fine saxophone. The controls on that, they're so beautifully executed. Look, Ian, show them the speaker cover. It's on your right there.
I absolutely love those.
Yeah, look how gorgeous that is. Look at the details. And, you know, I was saying when we were on the outside of this car that Mercedes has done this very difficult thing, which is to take something that's very intricate and very detailed and at the same time make it sleek and stylish. And I think this Mercedes does that.
Oh, absolutely. Really, truly do like this car. And, you know, I've been kind of downtrodden about some of the other cars they produced recently because they felt too small on the inside. Now, granted, the back seat is small.
Yes.
But I liked the driving position of this car, too. Much more so than the, what is that little one we had recently, the GLC?
The GLA.
The GLA, yeah.
I think, especially in the C, the E, and the S class, Mercedes has got their mojo back.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, thank you for watching another live review. This, as always, is my man,
Nathan.
And this is Roman saying check out tflcar.com for more news, views, and of course,
real world reviews.
And see you guys next time. You know, Andre's got the Frontier, the long-term Frontier. Do you think we could do a 0 to 60 live on that? Because we haven't done, you know, the 4-banger. Should we do that?
Sure, sure.
All right, we'll do one more. All right, come back in about 10 minutes. See you guys next time.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.